What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Love Island. This is Season 7, Episode 8, and let's go ahead and get right into this review. Alright, now, of course, we're starting off with the aftermath of the last conversation that Ace and Amaya had. So, Ace, he ends up talking to Nick, and he's telling him that, listen, I'm not feeling Amaya anymore. Like, you can tell he is completely turned off by this girl. However, when she's talking to Hannah, she's like, yeah, we're still trying to figure out if we can work some things out. I'm like, girl, could you go find Austin? Like, I think it's so crazy that we saw Amaya and Austin try to make a connection. They even kissed, and they never circled back to each other. I'm not understanding why they're not doing that. Like, this is very weird. So, next thing you know, we move on over to Alondria and Jeremiah, and basically they talk about the fact that Huda is a mom. And here's the thing. He ends up asking her if she's ever dated a guy who has had a kid, and she's like, she decided not to pursue that relationship because it's a lot that goes into dating someone with a child. There's always baby mama and baby daddy drama. And at the end of the day, if you are not mentally prepared to actually date someone with a child and all that comes with it, don't waste that person's time, okay? Because you will be the new person coming into a situation. You don't really know the dynamics, and they can change drastically overnight, okay? So she tells him that, listen, if you're going to be with her, then be with her, but be all in. Don't be half-stepping, okay? Because at the end of the day, her and her daughter are a package deal. And honestly, I feel like she was the right person to talk to when it comes to this situation. I'm still trying to figure out why this girl, Huda, whatever, she wants to tell Nick, of all people, that she has a child. Like, girl, you know you can tell everybody in the house, but I feel like I'm jumping ahead. Nonetheless, we going over to Austin, and he feels away because Shelly has been spending time with Ace. She's been spending time with Ace this whole time. Like, what are we talking about? Shelly actually tells him that she's figuring things out, and now he feels like he has to emotionally pull back. But sir, that's your choice. Like, I'm really trying to understand this cast because something's not clicking with them. Because Shelly has consistently said that she's going to explore her options, very much like Ace has said. And what's crazy to me is that so many people are going hard at Ace when Shelly is doing the exact same thing. So if we're going to be hard on Ace about him pursuing multiple people at the same time, we need to say the same about Shelly. Because what's happening right now? Austin, you're just mad because you have nobody else to go have a conversation with. But like I said, I don't understand why you and Amaya won't team up, because y'all can clearly see that Ace and Shelly really want to be together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't making no sense. And also, I'm giving a major side-eye to Austin because he has yet to tell anybody but Nick about his situation with Amaya. Like, nobody knows that man has kissed her. You know what I'm saying? So, dude, you got some secrets there. Are you going to try to pursue that, or are you going to still be hung up on Shelly? Like, make things make sense around here. Nonetheless, we jump on over to Huda and Jeremiah, and basically he says that he's not pursuing anybody right now. However, it's only day 7. And Huda is like, well, do you want me to be closed off? And he's like, well, I'm saying for me, I'm pretty much locked in with you, but who knows if there is another person that comes into the house that piques my interest. And now she's like, okay, well, do I need to open up my options? I'm just like, these two are draining. Jeremiah and Huda, they are very draining, and I am getting over them quickly, okay? Like, I feel like when he was explaining to her that if somebody else comes in and he wants to see what that's like, Like, I feel like he explained it plain and simple. Like, there wasn't much to this conversation. So he's basically getting irritated with her. And she's like, well, do you want to shower together? And he turns her down. Now, he says that she gaslights him and that she be rude to him. And I feel like she's taking it as a joke, but really that's how he feels about her. Like, I really think that that's how he feels about her. We see Taylor, he's talking to the guys. And again, we're talking about how him and Alondria are not really physical yet. Sir, you're dragging it. Like, I don't know what this man wants from her. And I feel like at this point, Taylor, don't waste her time. Please don't waste her time. She's too good of a girl for her time to be wasted like this. Austin, we see him and he's saying that he's 100% pursuing Shelly. And again, I keep saying, what happened with him and Amaya? Because those two have more chemistry than Austin and Shelly. And now Shelly, she feels like Austin, he be in his head a lot. And at the end of the day, she's still going to explore her other options. Like I said earlier, Shelly's going to explore the option. And one of her options is who? It's going to be Ace. So Austin just has to deal the same way Amaya just had to deal. But we saw what happened with that. Speaking of Ace and Amaya, when we saw Ace and Amaya in bed together, so basically he hugged Shelly goodnight. And Amaya was like, so are you going to give me a hug? And he said, nope. Like, I thought that was funny. It wasn't nice, but it was funny. Like, he really is not into this girl anymore. So the next day, Shelly, she decides that she's going to cook breakfast. Now, Hannah was a little bit shady because she was like, girl, who you cooking breakfast for? And she was like, Austin, of course. Girl, don't sit up here and act like you weren't possibly going to be making breakfast for Ace. Like, be so for real. So Ace is over here running around like crazy because he wants to do like this little yoga date with Shelly, right? So, I mean, he has gotten Nick involved. He wants Nick to lead the yoga class. Nick ain't ever did yoga in his life. So I'm just like, okay, we gonna see what this is like, right? So he walks over to Shelly while she cooking Austin breakfast, and he invites her to do yoga. Baby, when I tell you that girl did not give that man a plate, Austin never got that food. Like, she probably left the eggs on the fire and let them burn because she ran upstairs to go put on a cute workout outfit. Okay? So, we do see Shelly. She's getting ready. And, baby, here comes Amaya. She is trying to check Shelly. Like, girl, what? She's like, what's going on with y'all? Like, were you being genuine with me because I cried to you? And here's my thing. Girl, that's your problem. Nobody told you to go crying and whining around the house to every person that would listen because you were trying to get at Ace and he set some boundaries with your ass. Like, what are we talking about? Then every time Shelly tried to talk, Amaya would cut her off and kept saying what she felt like and how she feels. Girl, the man don't want you. Move on. Like, go check on Taylor. Go check on Charlie. Go see what other guys are doing. That is the most frustrating thing about this season so far for me, is that nobody is exploring anybody else. I'm like, damn, this is getting kind of like boring. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I think of like Charlie and Hannah, okay, nothing's there. It's boring me. Same with Alondria and Taylor. If they're not gossiping, then what are we getting? Hell, Nick and Sierra, if they not kissing, they ain't doing nothing either. Like, I just feel like we gotta shake some shit up on this show. Like, seriously. So Shelly, she's over here explaining how Austin is her connection and that's who she's still trying to pursue, and she wasn't trying to be messy when she was talking to Ace. Like, my whole thing is this, Amaya, how are you even calling Shelly messy? Like, how? Like, you knew coming into this that Ace and Shelly had something going on. You already knew this. So I don't understand why you thought that when you walk in the door, he was just supposed to drop her, and that was going to be the end all be all. Like, girl, you're dumb if you thought that was going to happen. He don't know you. And like I said, we don't know the extent of how much Shelly and Ace actually know about each other. Like, yes, they met before in New York, but I feel like there was more to that story. I feel like they were probably talking for a little bit of time and they realized with long distance it wasn't going to work. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he feels way more comfortable with her than he does with anybody else. Like, honestly, it was crazy to watch Maya be like, because I'm not naive. Like, I'm not stupid. I pick up on things. Girl, the problem is that you cannot handle rejection. Like, the way you're handling this is wild. It gets to the point where Hannah is trying to calm Amaya down, but baby, it ain't working. Like, she is so mad because Ace gave her some boundaries, and she's like, but he doesn't have those boundaries with her. He doesn't have those boundaries with you. That's because he's comfortable with her. Why did you think because you've been in this house for less than 48 hours that he would be comfortable with you? Also, y'all remember how she kept saying, like, I always say the word babe? I have not heard her say the word babe again. And I don't think it was because of Ace saying that. I feel like she was the type of girl that be like, oh my gosh, babe, hey babe, babe this, babe that. Like, I feel like she's one of those girls that be pouring it on thick, and that's just not where we are. At the end of this, she tells Shelly that she can have him. I said, okay, girl, that means you shouldn't say Ace's name anymore, okay? We don't want to hear you even mention that man's name. So, Shelly, she feels like, listen, I didn't even do anything wrong in this situation. Like, what was all of this for? You know what I mean? And Ace, he goes, he sees Alondria, and he's like, so what happened in there? What's going on? And she's like, you need to be transparent with all parties involved because it looks like someone is moving sneaky. He's confused. I'm confused. He has been transparent with Amaya this whole time. And like what's really frustrating me is the fact that y'all ask for guys to tell y'all the truth and be honest. And then when they do, y'all get mad at that. You gotta make it make sense. What do you want? Like, would y'all have rather that he played in Amaya's face, pretended like he really liked her, and he didn't? Because honestly, this could have gone another way. If that man, he told her his boundaries and she said, okay, I can respect that, but here are some of my boundaries. And you know what? I still want to get to know you. I still want to have a good time and continue the conversation where they're talking about each other. But that's not what happened. Nonetheless, he's upset because his date basically got to be canceled, okay? Now, here's the thing. We see Taylor and Nick, and they're talking about the fact that Taylor, he feels like him and Alondria, they're in a good place, even though they're at a slower pace than everybody else. If that's what you like, okay, cool. We do see a conversation happen between Shelly and Austin. Oh, and I think Jeremiah was there as well. And they talk about what happened this morning with Ace inviting her to work out and how Amaya just kind of blew up on her. And of course, Austin, he's ecstatic because the date did not happen. He's so happy that, the yoga thing didn't happen that he decided that he's going to go ahead and do some meditation with Shelly a little bit later. I said, sir, you just totally piggybacked off that, okay? Now, Ace, he has a conversation with Amaya yet again. First of all, he set some rules for the conversation. He's like, you gonna say your piece, I'm gonna say my piece. We not about to be like talking over each other, and we gonna come to some type of understanding. I'm sorry, but I like the way he was talking. I ain't even gonna hold you. I like the way he was talking. Here's the thing. She is going on about them, agreeing that they would get to know each other. And he's like, yeah, we would get to know each other as friends. And she agrees. Then she's like, I I saw you hugging Shelly. But like I said, this was already established before you got here. So chill out. So then she's like, well, you said you were going to explore options, but you never said who it was. I'm sorry. Nobody said that he had to put a name to it. Like, what are we talking about? Like, that girl got so huffy and puffy in the chest. She was at a loss for words at one point. I said, girl, you can't even get your thoughts together. When I say you cannot handle rejection, baby, you are struggling to handle rejection right now. So at one point, he's like, I already told you about the me and Shelly thing. She cuts him off and she start going off. And baby, she really showed who she really is. I feel like this is who Amaya was this whole time. She came on with that fake personality. I told y'all, like, her energy, it was off. Something was off about her. And I feel like it was her personality. Like, she came on a little bit too, oh my gosh, bubbly, woo, woo, woo. She was doing way too much of that. And I'm like, that ain't the real her. Like, I feel like her going off on Ace, that's the real her, okay? So, baby, I mean, her neck was rolling, hands waving all in the air. Like, it was a lot. And he did not appreciate it. He tells her straight up that, he does not want to explore her any further because with her doing all of that, he is no longer interested in the conversation. And honestly, I don't blame him. Now, we do see Austin and Charlie have a conversation. And honestly, I cannot sit through hearing both of them talk. Not in one conversation. Oh, no, I need some other people there because both of them just be dragging words. Can't tell you what they talked about. So in the next scene, we have a conversation with Jeremiah and Nick, and basically he is complaining. Jeremiah is complaining that he don't like the way Huda be talking to him sometimes. Like, he feel like she talks to him like a child. And it's because she says things like, oh my gosh, you did a good job, babe. You did so good. I've peeped that since that first round of recoupling. Because y'all remember when he chose her, she was all happy, like, yeah, babe, thanks so much. Like, you did so good. But then she started pouring it on thick when the other ladies, they didn't get chose by their guy because everybody wanted to check in and see who Sierra was going to choose. And she was just kind of like, oh my gosh, you see what they're doing, babe? Like, I like the fact that my man, he chose me. That's the vibe that she be giving. Like, every time I see Huda, I just think of that song, Shantae's Got a Man. If you've ever heard that song, it's literally about this lady who is bragging on the track that she has a man and she got her a good man, and her friend's man, they not that good, not as good as hers. That's the energy that Huda gives me, okay? Moving on. Ace has a conversation with Alondra, basically saying he's about to keep it moving. He is not about to let the conversation with Amaya, shake anything up for him. So like I said earlier, Austin, he pulled Shelly to do some meditation, and basically he didn't get to do that much because next thing you know, Ace ends up pulling Shelly to the side, and you can just see the look of defeat on Austin's face. So while they're having a conversation, Ace and Shelly, he tells her that he feels bad about what happened earlier and he really wants to hone in on Shelly. She does remind him that she's with Austin, and he says that, it's over with Amaya, and apologize to Shelly because she did not deserve all that energy that Amaya gave her. So Shelly, she kind of feels like Ace has this wall up. But honestly, y'all, I'm going to be honest. Ace reminds me of a LA dude. And what I mean by that, the way he moved, the way he talked, the way he operated is definitely like how a regular old LA dude operates. Nonetheless, now while they're having that conversation though, why is the group talking about how STDs got spread across the world? And it's basically because of men and them putting their things in animals. I said, well, all right. I believe every word that they're saying. I'm not sure about the manatee situation, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, because people are disgusting. Moving on, we do see Austin have a conversation with Alondria, and he is all in his head, okay? He's over here saying how, seeing Ace and Shelly, it makes him question everything. And you have Alondria telling him to keep applying pressure. But really, I want him to move on. I really want Austin to move on. Let's get into the game that they're about to play, okay? We got a new game tonight. It's called Pucker or Pie. First question, it's going to be Nick's question. Who do you think is the best kisser other than your partner? And he says Alondria. Now, unfortunately, she got pie in her face, but he wanted to kiss her. Hannah, she gets who do you think would be the most boring in bed? She says Austin. He gets pie in the face. Shelly gets the question, what Islander regrets partnering up with his current partner? And of course, it is Ace. My boy got pie in his face. Taylor, his question was, who would be the freakiest in bed, I believe. And he said Shelly. Pie face. Sierra, her question was, what Islander is here for clout over love? She says Ace, and they share a kiss. Jeremiah's question is, who do you think is the most high maintenance? Of course, he says Huda, and they kiss, of course. Alondria, it was who do you think would fake a relationship to make it to the final? Baby, she said Jeremiah. I said, yep, he definitely would. And they do a peck. And I was so annoyed because I'm like, this is boring. I don't like the way Huda and Jeremiah are operating. Like, that shit's weird. Like, can you just play the game full on out? So Amaya, her question is, who is the most boring? And she says Nick. And I'm like, you think Nick is the most boring? Hell, I would have said Charlie or fucking Taylor. And they end up kissing. Charlie's question was, who was the most flirtatious? He says Amaya, but she has pie in her face. Huda's question was, what Islander is waiting on something better to walk in the door? It was Ace that she said, with pie in his face. And he felt like that was a personal dig. I feel like we only got one question from Huda, and they must have played this game for a while, because I feel like they did multiple rounds of everybody coming up there, but we only saw a portion of it for him to be like, yeah, that one felt personal. Like, I feel like she had to give other answers earlier that weren't that. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, Nick, he gets the question, what Islander gives you big D energy? And he says Austin. Sir, what? Austin? Of all people, you said Austin. Child, they give each other a kiss on the cheek. Whatever. Taylor, his question is, what Islander is trying too hard? It's Amaya. And I absolutely agree with him. They share a kiss. Sierra, her question is, what Islander gives you red flags? And she says Shelly. Baby, the girls kiss. And honestly, at this point, I want them as a couple. Like, Sierra's been waiting on this kiss. And let's shake some shit up. Let's have two girls win. Okay? Ace gets the question, who has the nicest smile? It's Shelly, of course, and they kiss. Oh, baby, do they kiss. Like, the way he scooped that pie up, and she's like, wait, it's supposed to be a kiss, not the pie. Baby, he put that damn whipped cream in his mouth and went for it. And then she had that leg go up, child. Yeah, Austin, pack it up. Pack it up, baby. Austin, he ends up getting the question, what Islander would cheat outside of the villa? It was Hannah, pie in the face, and then they made up with some thrust action, okay? The game is over. So Taylor, baby, he got a lot to say. I said, oh, okay, Taylor. So basically he says that he was sticking up for his boy, Ace, when it came to Amaya, and he didn't even want to kiss her. I said, baby, she has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way with her actions. For him to be like, yeah, I ain't want to kiss her. So we go over to the girls, and Amaya is like, Like, what does that even mean? Like, that saying that I try too hard. And I can't lie, I was annoyed with the girls because they were like trying to redefine what a try hard is. And I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing? Everybody knows what you're trying hard is. Stop playing. So Shelly, I'm giving you the side eye because you should have just sat there in silence. Because baby, the way that girl blew up on you, I wouldn't care what they said about her. So Sierra, she kind of like, but it was just a game. Like, really, it ain't that deep. And honestly, it wasn't. But for some reason, I think Amaya just like to yap at this point. I really do think that. I feel like Amaya is showing her true colors, you know what I mean, for everybody to see. So Huda, she's like, when it came to her question of who's waiting for the next person to come in, you have Amaya chiming in as well about how Ace, he's all over the place. I mean, he's bouncing around. I'm sorry, I gotta call bullshit. How is he bouncing around when Shelly has done the most bouncing out of everybody? Shelly has literally bounced between 3 guys. Let's not forget that when everybody saw Shelly, they was on her shit, okay? She had Ace in her face, Austin over there, you know what I mean, trying to put in his best efforts. And Charlie literally pulled her to the side so he could sneak some kisses off of her. Like, are we all watching the same show? Like, are they not seeing what's going on around them? Like, be so for real. Then, if we really want to talk about people bouncing around, Nick literally had 2 girls bouncing between one or the other, macking on this one, and then 5 minutes later, macking on the next. So what the fuck are we talking about right now? Like, I know that people don't like Ace, but we gotta call a thing when it comes to this situation. So, on the other hand, y'all, we have Ace. He feeling some type of way about Huda. Like I said, he feels like she wasn't being truthful. And even Nick, baby, Nick had a lot to say. Like, when it came down to it, I feel like they had to have asked like a couple of rounds of these questions, and Huda was giving some bullshit answers, but whenever she could like throw a dig at Ace, she threw that shit. Jeremiah is like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And Ace basically feels like Huda didn't say who she really thinks, was whatever, and that she was being fake. So Nick, he's piping up. Because he's like, yeah, it just all seems fraudulent, like the way she's going about the game. And then he's like, yeah, I feel like she's choosing Jeremiah because he's like the safest choice, and that she be faking it with him. I was like, damn, Nick, tell us how you really feel. And the crazy part is that Huda dumbass don't even know that Nick is her motherfucking op. You thought Ace was your op, baby? No, it's Nick. But you about to tell him that you got a baby? Shit, Nick really gonna be like, get the fuck off of her. Nick is gonna tell Jeremiah, absolutely move the fuck on, latch on to anybody else but her. So Huda, she comes to talk to Ace, and you already know Ace is gonna speak his mind. And he don't like the fact that, she always be making these little side comments. Hell, the same thing that Jeremiah says. And she apologizes or whatever, and he's like, yeah, because I also thought that some of your answers, you was being fake as hell with it. Like, I wish that there was like an extended clip that we could see of what the whole game entailed. And when it came to that other question, she's like, it was either going to be you or Amaya, and I would rather kiss you than her. Girl, please stop playing. Like, it's crazy to me that you're telling him this when literally 5 minutes before you were telling Amaya, like, of course I'm going to choose him. I wasn't going to put you up. Like, again, fraudulent. I see what Nick was talking about. Now, y'all, after that little conversation, like, they was cool afterwards. We see Amaya, and baby, she has vengeance, okay? Baby, she comes up to Taylor and was like, yeah, Tay-Tay, can we talk? So he's like, yeah, sure. Y'all, of course, she's going to bring up the fact that he said that, she was trying too hard. And she's like, what do you mean by that? Like, what are you saying? What do you mean that I'm trying too hard? And baby, he gave her fucking examples. I said, shout out to Taylor, okay? He was like, listen, you're trying way too hard to get Ace. It was a problem when he told you he was going to explore other options. And now it's a problem that he's doing nice things for Shelly. Like, girl, chill out. So now she's like, well, you don't know the full story. You don't know the full story. Like, last night he hugged her and not me. So then at that point I think she finally came to grips with the fact that I was tripping. Like, I feel like she had to accept the fact that, yeah, she was trying way too hard. Like, girl, you got mad for nothing at Taylor because he was absolutely telling you the fucking truth. Now, moving on from there, Jeremiah is sitting down. Huda walks up, and it's like, what's wrong? He's like, nothing. He just, like, gives her, like, thumbs up, right? So now she mad because he ain't, like, saying shit to her. So she goes and sit on the other side of the couch right next to Nick. And I'm just like, girl, just let the man have a moment. Who cares? And she's like asking Nick, like, okay, well, why is he mad? And Nick is like, well, I mean, I don't see why he would be mad at you. So, of course, she pulls Jeremiah to the side to talk. And honestly, that whole time, I was just like, can we please give the cast some towels so that way they can wipe this pie off their face? Because I'm over it. I'm tired of seeing everybody's face look crazy. So those two, they go sit down, and she's like, what's going on? Like, what's wrong? And he ain't saying shit. But here's the thing, over at the group, you have Austin being like, yeah, these guys, they absolutely got into his head. And when we jump back over to Jeremiah, he says the same thing. He's like, I think the guys just kind of got in my head, and now she low-key trying to blow up on him. She's like, you need to confide in me. You don't need to talk to them. I said, girl, why are you acting like y'all have been together for 3 years? Like, I think that is my main issue with these two, is that they are acting as if they have really put in work to be with each other. And they haven't. It's literally been, a week? Please stop. But y'all, that was the episode. Let me know what y'all thought about it. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.